Throughout eras, Ireland's economic trajectory has dramatically unfolded. A territory that, for vast periods, was marked by poverty and adversity, the island nation has seen its fortune transform impressively. Presently, Ireland stands as one of the pillars of global wealth, surpassing even historically prosperous nations like Switzerland, Qatar, and Kuwait in various economic indicators. However, the surface situation doesn't always reflect the full reality, and beneath the appearance of prosperity, a diversity of opinions and feelings brew among the citizens. While the prevailing narrative suggests unequivocal Irish success, a deeper investigation reveals a more complex and nuanced tapestry. The truth is that wealth is not evenly distributed, and a critical look at the nation unveils palpable discontent, especially among the younger generation. Alarmingly, around 70% of them contemplate seeking horizons beyond the national borders, despite Ireland's apparent economic prosperity. During extensive phases of its historical trajectory, the global perception of Ireland was drastically different from the contemporary image the country boasts. Formerly a part of the United Kingdom, and subsequently evolving as an independent nation, Ireland was perceived as an impoverished nation with an essentially agricultural and underdeveloped economy, significantly tied to trade with the British. Emigration, driven by the pursuit of a life away from poverty, was a constant, which in turn did not contribute to the economic stability of the nation. Improvements were scarce and had little impact for several decades. However, by the 1980s, Ireland, still one of the economically weakest countries in Western Europe, managed to chart a prosperous path for its economy. As a member of the European Union, a conglomerate of nations that establishes a single market, allowing companies to sell their products to all member states and be taxed in just one, Ireland chose the course of positioning itself as an attractive hub for international corporations to conduct business within the European bloc. Ireland crafted a strategy for economic revitalization based on a combination of reduced taxation and financial incentives. Subsequently, heavyweight conglomerates from the United States, including Dell and Microsoft, chose the nation as their European headquarters, not primarily for its market, but for the substantial tax savings it offered. The taxes collected, though modest, propelled the Irish economy in unprecedented ways. During the 1990s and 2000s, the country exhibited growth that rivaled powerhouses like Singapore and South Korea, earning it the epithet of the Celtic Tiger. However, the year 2008 brought with it a global economic crisis, testing Ireland's resilience. The country's response was to intensify its tax minimization strategy, moving towards an almost negligible tax rate. Ireland thus positioned itself as a prominent international tax haven, attracting numerous American companies that began to tax their global profits in the country, benefiting from minimal taxation. In this way, Ireland managed to secure a portion, albeit small, of a considerably large economic pie. Emerging from the ashes of the economic crisis like a Celtic phoenix, Ireland boasted unprecedented growth, surpassing nearly all developing nations. In contrast to much of its past, the Irish population experienced an increase as population outflows had been substantially reduced. Instead, highly skilled and well-paid workers from the technology sector flocked to the country, taking positions in tech conglomerates, and consequently, Ireland savored its new designation as the Silicon Valley of Europe and an economic prosperity phenomenon. However, here lies an intriguing paradox. If the scenario is so favorable, why do a significant number of citizens aspire to emigrate? The polished narrative of Irish success begins to reveal cracks under closer examination. A recent survey has brought to light that 70% of Irish individuals between the ages of 18 and 24 are seriously considering the possibility of leaving the nation, dissatisfied with the quality of life offered. A housing crisis, persisting for several years, stands out as a predominant reason for this discontent. Ireland has been the stage for a notable and painful housing crisis, the roots of which can be traced back to restrictive government policies that hinder the development of dense urban housing and facilitate resistance to new constructions. This situation has generated a critical housing deficit, making homes an unattainable luxury for a large portion of the population. Just about a year ago, a mere 851 properties were available for rent throughout the nation, which houses a population of 5.1 million individuals. This scarcity has led to unusual situations, such as long queues on the streets of Dublin, with hundreds of people eagerly waiting just to view an available rental apartment. Although the housing crisis has persisted for years, with multiple protests and numerous government promises, effective resolution has remained largely elusive. The housing issue is merely a reflection of a broader problem. In various ways, Ireland exhibits a notoriously deficient administration, failing in the construction and maintenance of basic infrastructure, and in the delivery of essential public services. The nation faces challenges in building transportation routes, developing energy infrastructure, and in its healthcare system, which perpetually operates in a state of overcrowding and underfunding. The highlighted paradox is that, despite Ireland's notable economic success and its gleaming international image, the tangible reality for many does not reflect this prosperity. One conjecture for this could be that Irish opulence may not be as authentic as projected, and the so-called Irish miracle may bear a veneer of illusion. Let's unpack this in more detail. Ireland boasts a substantially high GDP per capita, an indicator often used to gauge a country's economic performance. At first glance, the Irish economy appears to outshine others. However, when scrutinizing other data, a series of inconsistencies begin to emerge. For example, although the average salary is relatively high, it doesn't align with the GDP. In reality, the average income in Ireland is lower than that of many Scandinavian countries, and it resembles those of nations like the Netherlands, Belgium, and Austria. However, Irish GDP per capita stands out notably, being approximately twice that of these countries. An analysis of other metrics shows a similar trend. Household disposable income, an indicator of the actual monetary amount accessible to people, places Ireland below the European average. In other words, there is a significant gap between the figures proclaiming Ireland's apparent wealth and the actual prosperity of the population. Why does such a discrepancy occur? One theory, despite gaining significant support among economists, faces resistance from the Irish government, suggests that Ireland's wealth, as outlined on paper, is not as robust as it appears. This distortion is primarily attributed to the fact that the Irish GDP is predominantly inflated by international corporations that channel their profits to the country, even though these earnings were not generated in Ireland. These non-Irish business entities transfer their profits out without significantly immersing themselves in the local economy. This phenomenon has been dubbed the leprechaun economy, an economic structure where the national GDP does not mirror the tangible economic situation. In practice, the claim that Ireland is a wealthy nation can be meticulously questioned. Ireland's peculiar economic arrangement could be more accurately narrated as a tale of two Irelands, one surfaced in wealth and another submerged in deficiencies. Even though GDP indicators may paint a picture of Irish prosperity, the underlying truth is that the average Irish citizen does not resemble the image of a Google software developer operating in megatech corporations. These tech giants comprise only a small portion of the Irish workforce, while the majority works in the domestic economy of the country, disconnected from the colossal tech sector and earning substantially less income. While affluent Ireland captures most of the public attention, poverty, which largely remains overshadowed from public view, illustrates the everyday reality for the broad population. Additionally, the enchanted accounting masks various weaknesses in the Irish economy that would be readily apparent otherwise. Take, for example, Ireland boasting one of the world's highest national debts. But since national debt is often presented as a proportion of the country's GDP, it often escapes the radar. Thus, Ireland seems to be sailing in prosperous waters. But when GDP is removed from the equation, it becomes clear that circumstances are not as auspicious as they appear. Economist Aaron Levinstein once expressed that statistics are like a bikini, revealing much but hiding crucial elements. Up to this point, Ireland has been able to veil the true face of its supposed economic miracle. However, this condition may not persist for much longer. The battle against tax havens is gaining momentum, and the days when Ireland could collect taxes from prominent international corporations may be numbered. Indeed, if that happens, the true economic reality may soon be unveiled, and what is revealed may not be pretty. The future landscape for Ireland, therefore, may be one of adaptation and recalibration, requiring strong strategies to ensure that prosperity is genuine and more equitably distributed among its citizens. The international landscape is in flux, and resistance against tax havens and economic disparities is growing both in volume and urgency. Thus, the true test of Ireland's economic character and resilience may still be ahead. If you found this content informative and would like to delve deeper into similar topics, please consider subscribing to our channel. We are constantly exploring various global issues, and your subscription will help us share more insights and analysis on economic and social developments around the world. Click the subscribe button, activate the notification bell to receive updates, and join us on this journey of exploration and continuous learning. Thank you very much for your attention, and see you in the next video. See you.